Welcome back. Former U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara made a name for himself prosecuting a large number of high-profile targets like Steve Cohen, Raj Rajaratnam, Matthew Martona, and J.P. Morgan for its involvement in the Bernie Madoff scheme. With Bharara out and a new administration in charge, what does this mean for the future of oversight on Wall Street? Let's bring in Michael Kimelman. He served more than 2 years in prison after being convicted of insider trading in 2011. That was all part of the crackdown by Preet Bharara. Author of the book Confessions of a Wall Street Insider, he details the arrest, conviction, and prison sentence, and he joins us today. Welcome.
Thank you.
So a lot of people were surprised that Preet Bharara was let go, fired, resigned, what have you. And just last week, I was speaking with a former colleague, David Enrich, who's written this book on the LIBOR crisis, a great book, Spider Network, that just came out. And he said, look, all you need is to signal from the top, one way or the other, where this is going. Do you think the signal, so to speak, from the top now is that this behavior will be tacitly allowed to happen, that we'll see some sort of renaissance of this kind of activity?
No, but you might see some type of uptick possibly. You still have, look, Preet did some very good things in this area, went after some people that deserve to be gone after, but at the same time, I think to a degree he went for a very convenient narrative, and then cases were chosen to fit that narrative, and the narrative being, hey, we're on the case and we're doing something about the financial crisis by going after insider traders. And again, I'm not saying don't prosecute it, it deserves to be prosecuted, but you also have limited resources and time. So if you're going to go after insider trading necessarily, you might miss a couple of other things like, I don't know, $1 trillion in mortgage fraud, high-frequency front-running, Madoff, Stanford, and other Ponzi schemes. So I don't think anybody's saying we're going to tolerate it, but the focus should be broader. I think that would have a more beneficial effect on the economy and markets.
You know, the line as to why that didn't happen that way was that they just were not prosecutable. I mean, or at least not as easily presented to a jury as these insider trading cases have been.
But just because they're not easily presentable doesn't mean they shouldn't be investigated. And I think if you did a proper investigative approach, you might have yielded some real targets, and that might have produced some real reform. So
perhaps they just needed to not be so sure that they were going to get a win. And this is another point that Dave has made. And from your point of view, again, is it worth it for them to actually go after more people or even more firms, knowing what's at stake and what's happened in the past with that? Companies have gone under because of that. Nevertheless, what Preet Bharara did and what they all do as well is say, look, I've gotten 72 straight convictions, and perhaps that becomes the wrong standard.
It does. You want to take the career calculus out of it, and that becomes a problem, because when you're so worried about the winning or the losing of it, the truth and justice aspect didn't necessarily take a back seat to that. So the focus shouldn't be, are we going to win this case? Is it, a case where I'm going to then parlay that case into a seven-figure job at a firm when I'm done? It should be, is it the right thing to do, and is it the right case to make?
You don't think there's going to be a change now with Preet Bharara out, whomever comes in, and just a different administration, one that has emphasized deregulation, and SEC that has a very different approach?
There will be a change. If you're saying, is the change going to mean that people are allowed to go back and insider trade again, as there was sort of a non-prosecution that took place for about 15 years? No, I don't think that'll happen. I think with technology and the SEC and everybody else, it's a lot harder to do these things. But